You're listening to The Fat Lady Sings on Double Clef FM. I'm Morgan Merriweather, but please, call me the maestro.
Welcome back, everyone. This is GTA Failer. This is our second installment of radio station analyses. First, before we move on to today's topic, which is Double Clef FM, I wanted to add a couple of things that I missed out in the last video. Head Radio, according to the trivia section of the wiki, is one of 3 radio stations in the GTA series to cross universes, the others being Radio Los Santos and West Coast Talk Radio. Also, Head Radio is one of 2 radio stations in GTA 3 and Liberty City Stories to have its music available on iTunes. That's right, you can purchase the music from Head Radio on iTunes. The other such station is Lips 106. And then one final bit of trivia about Head Radio. A pedestrian going by the name of Brad, wearing a blue cap and checkered shirt, can be heard singing songs from this station and Flashback FM to himself. Also, the paramedics sometimes sing Head Radio songs. Cool. Okay, so as I mentioned, the topic for this video is Double Clef FM. So again, reading from the wiki, Double Clef FM is hosted by Morgan Merriweather and plays classical music. And then I'm going to go through the song listing. We'll talk about each song on this station. Looks like there's only 6 of them. And so we'll begin with the first one. The first one is a Mozart song. And I'm going to try to read it. This looks like Italian. I don't read Italian. I don't know Italian. Non più Andre Farfallone Amoroso. And then according to the wiki, that translates into English as You Won't Go Anymore, Loving Butterfly. Loving Butterfly. Okay, that one came out in 1786. Okay, so Mozart, I'm just on the wiki here, the normal wiki, was a prolific and influential composer of the classical period, born 1756, died 1791. Oh, he was a young guy. My goodness. 35 years old, that's not cool. More than 800 works of virtually every genre of his time. Cool. And again, according to the Wikipedia, this particular song that you're listening to now is an aria for bass from Mozart's 1786 opera, The Marriage of Figaro, K492. The Italian libretto was written by Lorenzo da Ponte, based on a stage comedy by Pierre Beaumarchais, and then it gives the name of this stage comedy, again in another language. It is sung by Figaro at the end of the first act. So now it's time for me to grade this song, because I'm grading every song. I'm really not a classical music guy. I mean, I guess some music of that kind is okay. I don't go out of my way to listen to it, but I'm for sure not an opera guy. And if there's opera on the radio or whatever, we're changing it right away. That's my philosophy. That said, this particular song is quite famous, and you know, like I can kind of sing along to it. I don't know the words, but I know the tune, I guess, just because it's so famous. I think I have some fond memory from way back when watching like the Tom and Jerry cartoon, and I think that this was one of the songs featured in one of those episodes. So we will give it a B, which is like it's on a different scale than I would say the pop music grades that I gave in the last video. So we'll give this one a B. I'm not an opera guy, but I'm trying to set that aside and grade this one kind of neutrally. So B for this one. Moving on to song number 2 on Double Clef FM. It's by Giacomo Puccini, and it is called O Mio Babino Caro, which translates to Oh My Dear Daddy. Compared to the 1786 Mozart composition that we heard, this is a relatively new song, composed in 1918. According to the wiki, it's on the PS2 version only, but I'm playing it for you here. I don't know whether it's really PS2 only. I know I said in the last video that I typically just leave whatever radio station is on whenever I jack a new car in GTA 3, but I'll come clean and say that I pretty much always change the classical station if it happens to come on. So anyway, so this song right here, like I said, is by Puccini, another famous guy, reading from Wikipedia, 1858 to 1924. He was an Italian composer known primarily for his operas, regarded as the greatest and most successful proponent of Italian opera after Verdi. He was descended from a long line of composers stemming from the late Baroque era. All right. So again, this one is called O Mio Babino Caro. Again, I think it's quite famous because I actually do recognize the beginning part of it, but I don't like it. Even though I know some of the melody, sometimes there's these like female opera singers that can sing way, way up high, and that's what I hear in this particular song. And my goodness, for me, that like way, way high voice from an opera singer is like nails on a chalkboard for me. So we're giving this one an F. I'm sorry, not opera, and I don't like the real high pitched sounds in this one. But reading that part from the from Wikipedia about the Baroque era reminds me of a cruise that I took a few years back. And on this cruise, I was hanging out by the pool deck on the top level, and the cruise director came up and he grabbed the microphone. He said, "Okay, everybody, we're going to do a little trivia thing right here for you. And this is music trivia by the decades." And so it was basically just going to be a name that tune. They would play a small snippet of a song, and we would have to try to write down the name of the song title and or artist if we could. But it was just called Music by the Decades. And so he said, as your cruise director, I get to pick the decades. And so today, the decade I pick is the 80s. Do you guys like 80s music? And everybody goes crazy. Yeah, we love 80s. And then he says, fantastic. The 1780s, the Baroque era. I hope you're ready to really get into it. His delivery of that joke was probably better than mine. The third song on Double Clef FM is by Giuseppe Verdi. We just heard about him as a kind of an Italian, I don't know if they were contemporaries, but anyway, the best Italian guy compared to Puccini, who was second best. Anyway, the song you're listening to right now is called Libiamo nei lieti calici. Gosh, I need to learn Italian for this series. According to the wiki, that translates to Let's Drink from the Jolly Cups. Came out in 1853. Okay, so reading from Wikipedia, Verdi was born in 1813, died in 1901, an Italian composer best known for his operas. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. He came to dominate the Italian opera scene after the era of Rossini, Bellini, and Donizetti, whose work significantly influenced him. So in terms of my grade for this song, again, it's another real famous one. I know this melody quite well, and in fact, I think it's a really catchy song. Obviously, I can't sing along with any of the Italian, but yeah, I'm going to give this one an A. Again, I'm not an opera guy, so all these grades are kind of elevated, but yeah, this one is quite catchy, and I don't mind the vocal when the guy comes in and starts singing. A for this one. The next track is by Gaetano Donizetti. We actually just saw his name when we were reading about Verdi. And the name of this song is Chi mi frena in tal momento, which translates to Who Stops Me at Such a Moment. Came out 1835 for this one. So we'll read a tiny bit from Wikipedia about Donizetti. 1797 to 1848, an Italian composer, best known for his almost 70 operas, along with Rossini and Bellini. We saw those two names as well. He was a leading composer of the bel canto opera style during the first half of the 19th century, and a probable influence on other composers such as Verdi. Okay, fair enough. So this is actually the first song in the Double Clef track listing that I don't recognize. I don't know this tune at all, and I'm going to keep it that way. I don't like this song. My goodness. No, so the two guys' voices at the beginning, they're okay for me. I don't think they blend together all that nicely, but then you add like a third person, like a woman comes in, and then like it's just like, then maybe more people after that. I don't know. I stopped listening to it. It's just like this wall of uncomfortable sound. This is another F, I'm afraid.
Now, more hits from the 60s. 1760s, that is.
The next track is another Giuseppe Verdi track. This one is called La Donna è Mobile, which translates to Women Are Fickle from 1851. I don't think you get away with a song title like that today. I guess it was a different time, back in 1851. Women are fickle. Okay, according to the Wikipedia, this song translates to "woman is fickle," which is slightly different from what the GTA Wiki said, which is "women are fickle." Let's see, it looks like it's from Verdi's opera Rigoletto. It's the Duke of Mantua's canzone from the beginning of Act 3. It's famous as a showcase for tenors. This one is another one that's really famous. I know this tune quite well, and I'm going to shock you and give it an A. I think it's quite catchy, and I don't mind the guy's voice when he comes in and starts singing. Had no idea it was so offensive to women because it's all in Italian, but anyway, if I can get past that, I'll give it an A. Right before this song plays, Morgan Mayweather, the fictitious DJ for Double Clef FM, says something like, "I hope you're ready for some music from the 60s, the 1760s," and then he chuckles at his joke. So first of all, I already made that joke in this video talking about the cruise. And second of all, the song that he is introducing, this song by Verdi here, is from 1851, not the 1760s. Get it together, Morgan. So the final track on Double Clef FM is another track by Mozart. This one is called Finch Han del Vino, which translates to "Till They Have Got Some Wine" from 1787. That the song is from the opera Don Giovanni. It's an opera in 2 acts with music by Mozart to an Italian libretto by Lorenzo da Ponte. I don't mind it, to be honest. I'll give this one another B, which means that we're ready now to give Double Clef FM, the entire station, a grade. And surprisingly, it's going to be higher than the grade for Head Radio, B- compared to Head Radio's C+. Reading from the wiki, one last thing here about Double Clef FM, the station as a whole. A slogan in GTA 3 says, "There's none of that modern rubbish on Double Clef FM where the songs have words." That's right. Who wants songs with words? Again, reading from the wiki, this station features music from various Italian operas in Liberty City Stories. The station was hosted by Sergio Bocchino. By 2001, he had been replaced by Morgan Merriweather, who appeared in Liberty City Stories as one of the station's callers. The station attempts to present an aura of, quote, highbrow, illustrated connoisseurs through Mayweather's dialogue display, though Merriweather's dialogue displays his poor cultural knowledge through his mentions of reading Proust in the original Italian and references to Fellini's Lolita. This is the favorite radio station of the Leone crime family, the Sindaco crime family, and the Forelli crime family. Continuing to read from the wiki, but now in the trivia section. In GTA 3, at one point, Morgan Merriweather says now more hits from the 60s, 1760s, that is. However, no music from that decade appears on the station in either game. Yeah, I called him out for that nonsense. The oldest pieces of music in the GTA series can be heard in this station. One of Mozart's songs there is from 1786. So that's the oldest piece of music anywhere in the GTA universe. And the final thing I'll say about this station is that Morgan Merriweather, the DJ, is voiced by an American voice actor whose name is Jerry Cosgrove. And again, according to the wiki, Cosgrove voices Morgan Merriweather in GTA 3 and Vice City and Liberty City Stories. He also voiced the Pets Overnight announcer in GTA 3 and a pedestrian in Vice City. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you real soon.
Those of you who read my weekly memoirs, Entertainment, in the Liberty Tree will understand how important this next movement is to me, Morgan Merriweather, Double Clef FM.